What's going on, everybody? Jeremy here. It's a special day today. Today's Veterans Day. So, just want to thank everybody that served and everybody that appreciates all our military members. I hope everybody had a truly wonderful day. All our veterans definitely deserve a day worth of peace and to have at least one day about them. I think it should be a lot more than one day. Anytime I see a fellow veteran, I always thank them for their service. Especially the older guys that are around. The Vietnam era guys those are the older guys. So you guys watching this, Vietnam vets, don't take offense to it. It's all respect. And we're glad you guys are home. We all know you guys did not get treated fairly when you got back. And that's a shame. Our country's better than that. At least I thought it was. And it should be anyway. I got a little military theme. It's the design I made actually for a t-shirt. Global War on Terror, GWAT. That's what it's abbreviated for. OIF and OEF, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom. Operation Iraqi Freedom is obviously in Iraq. That's the Iraq War. OEF, Operation Enduring Freedom, was the war in Afghanistan that lasted for 20 years. Glad those came to an end. Miss those days. Absolutely do. Would jump right back into it again if I could. Anyhow, moving on. We don't got a really long video today. I'm not going to go haywire and hold you guys up here. But I do have a couple things that I was doing some research and found out. There's this group called AFCC, Association of Family and Conciliation Courts. Okay, so the AFCC is a private membership-based professional organization formed in 1963. And I think it was in California, if I'm not mistaken. Members of AFCC work in and around family court systems, shaping court practices, evaluation methods, and custody resolution processes. Now, you guys do some research, and if you just simply Google AFCC, Association of Family and Conciliation Courts, they they don't really have a good rating. And there's a lot of reasons why. Because this is where my RICO aspect of my federal lawsuit ties in, because these people are working together, and this is just one simple piece of the puzzle that puts it together for a full picture of fraud and everything else that goes on in these courts. Membership composition. AFCC members include, now listen closely, judges, attorneys, psychologists, custody evaluators, therapists, and agency administrators. GALs, guardian ad litems, they're all in there. Anybody that works in a court has anything to do with family court and therapy and reunification therapies, all that stuff. This is where they all band together and come up with their schemes to rob us of our families and living a good life. And it's disgusting. So I'm going to read on, so follow along. This creates integrated professional networks that may impact outcomes in custody and family court matters. Organizational influence and activities. AFCC influences judicial training, custody evaluation guidelines, mediation practices, and proposed reforms. Its research and conferences shape court policy in many states and countries. Another section of it is parental alienation and reunification programs. AFCC promotes frameworks involving claims of parental alienation and supports reunification-focused therapy programs. Critics argue these can lead to forced child-parent contact and financial strain. So what that means is you got a parent that might not be so good, might not be a good idea to have that parent around the child because the parent is no good. And unfortunately, we do have those. And what they do is pretty much force the kid to be with that parent that the kid shouldn't be around or does not want to be around. there's a bunch of different ways this can be interpreted. But for most of it in the research I've done, I can't believe this organization is even a thing. Let's see what else we got here. Conflict of interest risks. AFCC networks may create closed professional referral loops. When judges, evaluators, and therapists belong to the same private association, concerns arise about impartiality and transparency. Well, that's a given. Documented governmental reviews and hearings. Government entities in the U.S., Canada, Australia have conducted reviews concerning evaluation practices and influence of AFCC affiliated professionals. Next section. Public concerns and impact on families. Families often report emotional and financial harm, lack of due process, and dismissal of children's expressed wishes during custody disputes. And I can tell you guys right now, that's a very big concern. It shouldn't just be a public concern. That should be a governmental concern. That should be everybody coming down on these people kind of concern, because this is where these people are getting together and putting their harebrained ideas of how they can make more money off of misery, families going through trouble and hard times like I'm dealing with here with not seeing my kids for almost 2 years. You guys can see where this is going. So the core issue summary is the AFCC is a private professional network. I don't like how they say professional. Nobody in this is professional, but influencing public legal outcomes. This raises concerns about transparency and accountability and conflicts of interest in family court systems. Public action steps. We can all do this. This is a public action. This is how they handle it. Request disclosure of AFCC affiliations. Use public records laws. Educate lawmakers and advocate for oversight. So that means pretty much get together, write your legislators, find all the issues with this program here, and put an end to it, kind of like the KKK or whatever other, group that joins together that has nefarious intent on taking advantage of certain people. And that's exactly what this is. It's just a different form of it. So the conclusion for AFCC is understanding its role is essential to informing the public and supporting reforms, ensuring family court fairness and child well-being. I found this somewhere on the internet, and then did a little bit of research into it, and was just about. I was pretty disgusted, to say the least, whenever I started looking into what it actually is. I'm going to start sending some right-to-know requests out to find out who in my county or anybody in my case that I have a lawsuit against is a member of that or has been a member of that or any kind of organization like it. Sick stuff here we got, man, I'll tell you. So that's the topic for tonight. The last thing I want to talk about is tomorrow is the 12th. I have to go to Westmoreland County Courthouse. That's where my custody and divorce case is. Tomorrow is a de novo hearing for my child support order. I had filed for this a few months ago, and when you file for something, it usually don't happen as fast as when they do. But I'm going to walk in here tomorrow pretty prepared. In the issues now I'm leaving aside my federal lawsuit and all that stuff for now, and all the violations they've done and I've got on these people. That's not what this is for. What this part is for is try to help me get a little bit of relief and get these people off my ass every day, threatening me with jail and contempt and taking shit off me like my license and whatever it is that they want to threaten. So I have a lot of really good things that you guys that pay support or have a case or know somebody that is getting screwed by their domestic relations or child support office should pay attention to and inform them. Myself, I'm a combat disabled veteran, so I get VA compensation, which is not a taxable income, but they can still add it, as income, and I get SSDI. So the big thing with that is the Social Security. This whole thing is I'm gonna bring it full circle here in a minute. The Social Security I get, my children each get a check. So say, for example, if I get $1,000 a month that's my benefit. My two children, they get checks from my case, and it's 50% of what my pay is. So they would get combined $500. So child support, domestic relations, by law, is supposed to be counting those checks going to those kids. Now they're going right to the mother, but they're in the kid's name. So they are not counting those in my case like they said they were. They admitted that on court record, that the only thing they're receiving is the $45 from the combat-related special compensation that they're stealing off of me. And guys, again, this is not about not taking care of my kids. This is not that at all. Anybody that knows me knows I'm the first person that would take care of a kid, especially my own, or anybody for that matter that needed help with anything. But they got it in their head that because I filed a lawsuit and found a lot of violations in my case, they think I'm willfully not paying on purpose. And that's not the case. I had to describe to them why that I'm in contempt every other month or falling behind. But they have a really big problem by not adding those checks in towards the support amount, because now we get to go back retroactively to the year 2016, and we're going to apply those checks those kids get, and then we're going to deduct it from everything that they've already thought I've owed because their accounting is so screwed up. I'm going to demand a federal audit from the Auditor General of the state and the United States federal government. There's a lot of problems here, guys, and this isn't just me. This is everywhere. This is happening to veterans. This is happening to police, firemen, nurses, doctors. It don't matter who or what you are. It's happening to everybody in every single state across the country, and people are now starting to band together and say, we've had enough of this shit, and that's what it takes. You can't go on Facebook complaining and bitching and moaning that this happened or that happened and expect something to change, because it's not. You have to stand up, make a stand, and you have to file lawsuits to correct things and have case law on the books. You have to talk to legislators. You have to go to D.C. and talk to senators and state reps and get bills passed. And that's how you make real change instead of bitching and moaning. Put that effort and anger and frustration and bitterness and everything, put it towards good use. That's what I'm doing. And it's funny because throughout these 2 years, my ex has painted me out to be some kind of Looney Tune with a crazy temper that somehow I don't have. Was I crazy back in my day? Yeah, I was a soldier. I was in war and shit. I was a little bit different. But people grow up. They become more calmed down and settled the older they get, some people, which is the case here. So anyhow, it's just kind of funny because I am none of that. I'm not a mentally ill person. I'm not a violent person. I don't have a crazy bad temper. I've always been great to my children and people around me. But they take that little shred of darkness that you had in your life at one point, and they use that as some sort of weapon against you for the rest of your life. They don't care how long ago it happened or why or what the case was. It's just what narcissistic people do, and that's what I got to deal with. And that's sad because my kids are living there with that every single day. Sorry, I'm thirsty. But anyhow, I have the Novo hearing tomorrow. Hopefully we're going to get the child support issue straightened out, even though it shouldn't even be going on anyway, because I told you guys before, the official Pacey's record, which is a Pennsylvania child support enforcement system, it's a record-keeping thing for child support. And in that history, it shows 3 months after the case was started that it was terminated and withdrawn and closed and dismissed. And so technically, there's really not even a case to be enforcing, but they have been for the past, let's say, 7 or 8, 9 years because of that. So that's a very serious thing, and it was never reopened again. So I'm going to bring that up. But tomorrow's main fight is to get my $1,200 a month child support payment reduced to where it should be and to where it's proper. No, I don't know of any normal 15 and 17-year-old kids that need $1,200 a month when they're in school 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. I don't see it. I'm considered kind of low income. I'm not a rich person by any means. I'm on a VA compensation from being injured in combat. I can't get up and go get a full-time job or whatever it is that they think I'm going to do, like everybody else. And you want to leave me with $1,200 to live off of? I mean, it's insane. And there are people right now making a difference and changes in DC for the Title 4D program. That's what I wanted to spin around back, but the full circle thing is I get paid Social Security disability from being injured in war. The Title 4D Act is from the Social Security. So what they essentially are doing, they are giving me a benefit, and then they're taketh away at the same time. So they're taking from that, and then they want me to take out of my VA compensation every month and then pay them X amount from that. That's double dipping, man. You're hitting me twice for money. And the worst part of it all is I don't have the benefits of seeing my children. If I'm paying this much money for kids that are mine, I want the benefit of seeing them. They were taken off me illegally. The way they did it was all wrong. And that's why there's a federal lawsuit, and I'm not going to back down. And when I get in front of that federal judge, believe me, I'm going to have my I's dotted, my T's crossed, and I'm going to be standing at attention telling this man, this federal judge, every single thing in detail and backing it up with all the documented evidence that I do have. And I want to see what their answers or how they are then. Like I said before, there is no compromise no more. There is no early settlement proposals. There is no, we don't want to go to discovery. We can't let him get through all our stuff. We can't let that happen. I'm coming, and I'm going through it. I'm going to hit discovery, and I'm going to discover like Christopher Columbus discovered. And I'm going to find every single thing that I can. I'm talking about phone records, text records, email records, sticky note records, office records, notes, communications between the Domestic Relations Office, the judges, the attorneys, the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services, Bureau of Child Support Enforcement. I am going to find out every single thing. And then they're going to be audited. I'm going to have them federally audited by a professional auditor. Is going to audit not just my case, but that whole office. Because damn well if they're doing all this to one person, they're doing it to everybody else too. And we got to put a stop to this. And this is why I need you guys to join in this movement with me and push forward. And, yes, you're not involved in this and you don't have a stake in it. I understand. And it makes people really, this is more like a soap opera show or drama show to watch this unfold or what's going on. I get it. It's like a train wreck. You're devastated what you might see, but you can't stop watching. But, to jump on this train to help support me and other mothers and fathers like me that are going through this, and obviously to support good, children that don't deserve none of this. You guys can do a lot of stuff. I have a Spot Fund Me account. It's going to get expensive here really soon when I get into discovery and depositions and driving to Pittsburgh every single other day and, everything that I have to do. So, yeah, donations will always help. I'm not going to beg nobody for it. If you can throw something in there, I'm greatly appreciative. I'll post a link in, the comment section, so check it out. And the other big thing is you guys can do is take note of what all my videos say, what's going on. You can call the courthouse. Call them. And when I start having hearings, show up. The more people there, the more eyes that are on them. They have to do their job better. So, I'm not inciting anybody any kind of violence or, riots or out of control demonstrations, but we should all be there for each other, I have a person I know going through some things, and I can't make every single event that that person goes to. And I might not even agree with everything that person's doing. But I don't agree with what was done to that person. So therefore, even though as busy as I am, I still take the time out to talk to that person and try to listen to their problems and be there for them. And that's what we should all do for each other. We should all try to help each other out. We're only on this planet for a short period of time, and we have to make the best out of it. And that's all there is to it. And right now, you can leave the combat wounded veteran aside. You can leave all that stuff aside and just see a man that had his sons taken from him that he loves dearly, and will do anything to get him back and fight a corrupt court system for. Just knowing that you guys support me is a big deal, and I know there's a lot of you out there, and I appreciate it. For those that you have some nasty things to say that I'm a deadbeat dad and don't want to pay support for his kids, you're entitled to your opinion, and that's fine. Just don't come over here with that shit because you're the wrong person saying that stuff. You obviously don't know me if that's your opinion of me, so keep your opinions like that to yourself. It's not going to help nobody. So, guys, with that said, I got to get up super early tomorrow. I got a long day. Wish me luck. It's not all about luck, I guess, but it's about how good I was able to put my packet together, go in there, and feel confident enough to have a good outcome for once on my side instead of denied or something going completely awry like it usually does when I go there. Some people say, why don't you have a lawyer? Well, honestly, if I knew of a good lawyer that would represent me in this, I probably would have co-counsel to help me with this, because it is especially the federal lawsuit aspect of it, because it is very intricate. There's a lot of people involved. There's a lot of counts against these people. There's a lot of people that are going to claim immunities, and there's a lot of things that I have to do to prove that they don't have those immunities anymore because they violated A, B, C, D, and F, things like that. But I have tried to get counsel. I've reached out to probably a little over 60 attorneys and law firms and all that in the general Pittsburgh and the surrounding area, and even out of the state on the other side of the country. Nobody seems to want to take it. And the main reason why I think is because there's been so many. I've already started the federal lawsuit without counsel, and there's already been so many entries on the docket. But I just filed my second amended complaint, so it pretty much reset the whole thing, and we're starting from scratch now. So if anybody knows any really good attorneys out there that would love to help a good dad get back with his kids and fight a corrupt court, I think you've got a really solid case here. We can both make some money on top of it and hold some people accountable and get a dad back with his kids where they need to be. So, I have had bad experiences with lawyers and attorneys, and there's actually a couple in my lawsuit. And that's another reason why I think that I'm having trouble finding any kind of counsel, is because of who I am suing. Judges and lawyers and stuff like that. Nobody that lives in Westmoreland County or works in Westmoreland County as an attorney would ever probably take my case, because they all eat and talk together every single day probably. So, I get that, but that's why I said, if you guys can donate anything, that would be great. It'll never be forgotten. It'll always be appreciated, and it's going to a good cause. And if anybody knows a really good civil rights attorney or any kind of attorney that would want to maybe help out, I would be all ears to hear that and maybe talk to them and meet them. So, with that said, guys, again, wish me luck tomorrow. I'll make a video, let you guys know how it went and what happened. Hopefully we have a good video coming up. It'll be something good for once. So you guys have a good rest of your Veterans Day. Thanks again for watching, and take care. Till the next time.